This episode of On Display is brought to you by Post-it brand. Find your favorite Post-it products at your local retailer today.
People don't know what hunger feels like. Hunger is isolated into your stomach. It's not scary and it's not painful. But if you ask everybody, they'll say it's horrible. I hate being hungry.
Okay, guys, this one is going to be fun and educational today. I always get so many of you asking me to do more podcasts on health and wellness. And I think I've absolutely found the perfect guest for today. She's actually a celebrity dietitian who's been helping people create a healthy relationship with food for over 25 years. She's been a guest expert on Yahoo and in Vanity Fair, along with a ton of other outlets. So this is going to be super exciting. She also has a brand new book out called This Is What You're Really Hungry For, which has all the tips to become your healthiest self. Ladies and gentlemen, today I have the lovely registered dietitian, KIM SHAPIRA. Hi.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
I am so happy to have you here. I absolutely love these kinds of episodes. And when we do this, because my fans love it, they love to hear about food. The fact that you want to talk about like what we really want to eat. I would love for you to tell me, what am I hungry for? Because I feel like I'm hungry all the time. And with that said, before you answer that question, I know I have a raspy voice today. This is all for my listeners out there. I'm sorry about the raspy voice. You guys know me. The second I have one cocktail and like raise my voice or I'm in a loud restaurant at all, my voice is gone. So I apologize in advance for this raspy operator voice going on. It's not even sexy. So there's
it sounds so good. So
really? Okay, good. I feel like I'm like straining to speak. So I apologize in advance for that as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we should definitely talk about why that is happening and if you are straining, because it could be diet related.
Is that right?
Yeah. Everything is diet related. I mean,
I eat long hots. Is it from my long hot peppers?
I mean, I really hope not because I love them too, but it could be. I don't even know where to start. So like, let me just ask you a couple questions before we even get into the title.
I would love that.
Okay. So typically people who have a couple things going on or like heartburn or silent heartburn or raspy voice could all be from some screaming digestive issue. Okay. So it could be like, do you also get headaches? So maybe you can give us a story or just say yes or no. And then I can basically diagnose you. Is that terrible?
I am loving this. I'm so happy because I lose my voice on the daily. Like if very regularly, I lose my voice. It's insane.
Okay. So do you get headaches?
I do, but not chronically. No, I wouldn't say like I get them all the time. No, I'm not that girl.
What about your eyes? Do they tear?
Yes, constantly, like all the time.
Does your nose run?
Yes, 24 hours a day.
Do you clear your throat?
Yeah, like I always feel like I have mucus in my throat.
Okay. Do you get nauseous?
In a car.
Okay, that's the same kind of situation. Does your stomach make noises?
Constantly. Like it can talk to me if it feels like it.
Yeah. Do you burp?
Never.
Okay.
I'm really not a burper because I have a girlfriend, one of the housewives. I just recently found out she was just burping in a scene. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh my God, I do this. I just burp all the time. I'm definitely not a burper. So that's
also not normal. And I can definitely
help her with that. Okay.
Yeah. Do you get full fast?
Yes, I would say yes to that.
Do you get gassy? That's airy, not smelly.
Like when you feel like air pockets in your stomach.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Like bloated. Yes.
Well, bloated's one thing. And then actually like having gas, that is airy. Like if you were going to ever fart, would it be airy or smelly?
Oh God, airy.
Yeah. So okay. What about constipation or diarrhea?
Nope, never.
Okay. And reoccurring yeast infections that are not really yeast infections, itchy skin, all along the same lines. These could all be part of the same symptoms. And it sounds like something called small intestine fungal overgrowth. And so
Wow.
the reason why you know this is happening is because your stomach is making noises. And so it's kind of like there's a fungus that's producing a gas inside of your stomach. That's the noise you hear. It sounds like a churning, I'm guessing.
Wow, I feel like I'm at the doctor and I'm having a full-blown diagnosis.
Sorry,
I love this.
sorry.
I
It's okay.
love this. We're probably helping so many people out there that their stomachs are speaking to them and their voices are gone. Wait, so what is the cure for this?
You know what? It's actually, there's a supplement that I love. It's called berberine, and it's a natural form of hydrochloric acid. So basically, all that's happening in your stomach is that it's the wrong pH balance. Our stomach is supposed to be very acidic. And when it becomes more alkaline, then we have a hard time breaking down, as I'm clearing my throat now, and we have a hard time breaking down bacteria, fungus, food in general. And so just by making your stomach a little more acidic, it reduces overproduction of acid, which is heartburn.
Wow.
And a fungus can't grow in an acidic environment. Our stomach is supposed to be acidic, and sometimes it's just a little too alkaline.
Wow. I feel like my husband has this issue too, because he's always complaining.
It's very common.
So it's like an over-the-counter drug that you can take that's just going to help.
A supplement. And it's widely popular right now, actually, because people are calling it nature's Ozempic. It's not.
Oh my God. What is this? Start DMing me.
Yeah. It's not nature's Ozempic. It's nature's metformin, actually, because the side effect, besides it giving helping your pH balance, it's actually helping you balance your blood sugars, which is actually the secret to like longevity and decreasing your risk of every disease.
Wow. Okay. So does it also possibly help weight loss or not really?
It helps because your blood sugars are balanced, so you don't have cravings.
Oh Lord, we just like blew up the internet and the whole world's going to get this. Funny. Everyone who's listening to this podcast is on Amazon right now.
It's a very short-term thing. You only take it short-term. You don't need it for long-term.
Oh, is that right? And then it'll constantly fix that issue. It will continually fix that issue.
So what happens if you have that issue, any of those symptoms that I said, then what happens is you take this supplement until you don't have any more of those symptoms, and then a couple weeks longer, and that's it. This is just a temporary. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Oh my God. See, I didn't know you were going to fix all my problems today. I'm here to like ask you a bunch of questions to inform everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to Amazon that when we hang up this podcast.
As you should. But also, like, if you do get heartburn, it's best not to lay down 3 to 6 hours after eating.
Okay. I'm really not a heartburn girl. Joe is. So I feel like this is between the two of us, we're definitely going to try it. There's no bad side effects to it, right?
There are things could, yes. So very rarely is somebody affected negatively by this. And negatively looks like feeling nauseous from it.
Okay.
Or diarrhea, actually. So I would say take one, see if it affects you. It shouldn't.
Okay.
Very rare. Like if I recommend it to 10 people, maybe they're probably all fine.
And how many are you supposed to take a day? Like 3 times a day or something?
I think so. So I would normally recommend it 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because it's supposed to help with the acid level. But one will also be helpful.
Oh my God. Amazing. Step into a world of nonstop action on DraftKings Casino. Play the classics like blackjack, roulette, and slots. Plus, enjoy exclusive games you can't find anywhere else. Right now, new customers can get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. All you have to do is sign up, select the offer, make your deposit, and start playing from a full suite of games. Your way is the only way to play on DraftKings Casino. Play online on your time, in your space, and within your means. It's safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you're ready. Download the DraftKings Casino app now and sign up with promo code GORGA, and new customers will get a deposit match up to $100 $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Casino with promo code GORGA. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Please play responsibly. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Must be 21 years or older. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. One per opted-in new customer. Minimum $5 deposit. Max match $100 in casino credits, which require one-time playthrough within 7 days. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/players choice. Restrictions apply. So now that I've gotten my own personal diagnosis from you, thank you so much for that. I want to get into this amazing new book that you have. I have been looking at it, skimming through it all. I couldn't wait to speak to you actually about it because, you know, my listeners and I are very into like nutrition, what to eat. I've done a couple other podcasts on it and we're just very intrigued and interested. So first of all, the title of the book intrigues me. What am I hungry for? Is there an ultimate answer to that?
I think so. I mean, it's not actually food. I think people are ultimately hungry for peace about their wellness.
Wow. Which I agree with, right? It's some type of peace in some type of situation. There's always stress eating, right? There's a lot of that going on in the world.
It doesn't have to be, right? It's just a retraining of our brain. The way I think about it is our body is this amazing self-regulating, self-healing thing that we live inside of. And it's like our responsibility to listen to its cues. And It's talking to us all day long, like you said. And then we're talking to it all day long. And so when we eat and we're not hungry, the message we're giving it is there's a famine coming, store this because we obviously need it. That's why I overate it. If we undereat, the message we're giving to our body is there's not enough food, store this, we might need this. And so being in a constant relationship and eating, you know, constantly, like every 3 hours when your body is physically hungry, tells your body you're safe. And ultimately that's what it needs to know.
Wow. I mean, I love how you say this is not another diet book. That's basically a bold disclaimer. This is not another diet book. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I don't talk about food at all in this book or what to eat. And for 25 years on all of my appointments, I don't talk about what people should eat. I talk about what food makes them feel like and how they should feel. And the word diet is very scary and triggering for a lot of people. And I like to throw around triggering words on purpose so that way people can learn to stay in the discomfort and know that they've survived it, right? They're stronger than they think. And diet is actually lifestyle, the way that we live, the way that we eat. And so to be a diet book would mean restrictive. And as soon as we feel restricted, our mind goes, okay, we're not safe. Let me figure out how to survive this moment in the most pleasurable way. And then it remembers we overshopped, we overate, we overdrank, we had sex with the wrong person. Like we need to like be grounded in our bodies.
Wow. You know, I had Jackie Goldschneider on last week who, you know, battled anorexia and just self-acceptance for so many of her young years of life. And she is just coming out of it within the last couple years. And she always says that, you know, the diets and the restriction, that's not the right approach, which is what you just said.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of what you talk about in your book. You explain how your approach is different because the word diet is just overused and it's a trigger word, right? It's a complete trigger word.
Yeah.
As soon as you say diet, I'm like, oh, how that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, our mind recognizes stress or our body recognizes stress in under 10 seconds. And it triggers 1,400 different sensations to run from the lion that has come into the room. And all we did was say diet. You know, we could say fat, we could say calories, and it does the exact same thing to so many people. And then recognizing how your mind and body are responding and allowing yourself to stay here in this moment so you can listen to what your body needs, which is a deep breath. It's just a
Right.
deep breath. I need a deep breath right now.
I always say I feel like there's a lot more anxiety in the world these days than there used to be, or people just throw the word anxiety around a lot more. I always say a lot of my, I'm in my 40s, right? But a lot of my friends in their 30s, I always say this, like I feel like they have more anxiety than we had, or than my mother had, or than my grandparents had. Like, it's just a different generation. Do you agree with that? That there's a lot more
100%.
anxiety in the world?
I mean, 100%. And we're so impulsive and we like to do everything the way we did it yesterday. That's the way our mind likes to like kind of sleepwalk through the day. But, besides like returning phone calls from a voicemail, right? That, we have, then we have DMs we have to respond to, text messages, emails. How many emails do you have, right? And how many different apps that you have to check? And there's not a lot of time to decompress and take those deep breaths to relax. So yeah, there's a lot of anxiety.
It's true, because every time you have free time, you really don't, because you're like, well, I could be answering this DM, this email, this whatever it might be. There's 10 text messages waiting. So there's really never a time anymore that you just sit and like decompress. There's just not.
I don't even know what that would look like.
I don't either. It's very sad, but very true. And then I wonder why all my friends in that 30s era, they're all just like the most, I'm like, why do you have anxiety? Why do you have anxiety? Why do you like, I'm like, everyone has anxiety.
Yeah. I mean, right now my phone is like a foot away from me, like a full, like 12 inches. That's like far. Usually it's like in my hand.
Yeah, my daughter's FaceTiming me right now from college, and I have anxiety not answering her.
Right. I'm sorry. I know it.
No, it's fine.
I mean, it's crazy.
I'm kidding. She's going to ask me some ridiculous question, but it's fine. She's actually having, like at school, she's like transitioning into like, there's a cafeteria, right? And she's used to eating on a schedule at home and what I'm going to make her. And she's like, I'm stressed out over the food. That was her call early this morning. Like, I don't think I'm getting enough. And then it's like, the food thing is a thing right now. She's trying to figure that all out.
But by the way, like that needs to go viral. There is no good food at any college and around college campuses. It's mind blowing. And they don't even have the ability to have a kitchen to make their own food.
Right. Right. She has a microwave, which what can you do in that? That's going to be like healthy and productive. Not much. Yeah. Going back to the diet, the same diet, and you say this, the same diet does not work for everyone. Right. And I know you briefly mentioned that there's dietary fabs in the book. You also say how, the same diet for one person may not have the same effect it has on a different person. And I really think that's great for my listeners to hear about. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So we all are very similar in the way that our bodies function, but we have different inflammatory issues and different lifestyles. And like, for instance, blueberries give me diarrhea. And they would be on a superfood list. And people would call them healthy.
It's so funny. I know a lot of people that happens to.
Yeah. Well, yes. Cherries is, by the way, if anyone's listening and they're cherries and they love cherries, there's a lot of people who have a problem with cherries. So I don't know if the blueberry people are sensitive to blueberries or they're sensitive to the high fructose that is causing a dumping situation. So it could be one or two things.
Well, is that the worst thing though, to have diarrhea too? Like, is it a healthy diarrhea to have like the blueberry one? Is that like a healthy one?
A healthy diarrhea, because then you're getting rid of vitamins and minerals. You're dumping all of your vitamins, minerals, and water. So it actually destroys your electrolytes and takes away all the vitamins and minerals you were going to absorb. Because technically what's inside your digestive tract hasn't even entered your bloodstream or your body yet. And so if you're getting rid of it, then it's not healthy.
Got it. Okay. So it's not a healthy diarrhea. Got it.
Never.
Okay.
And for some people, it's explosive, right? Like they can't make it to a toilet fast enough.
Oh, wow. Okay. So sorry, I cut you off. I got totally sidetracked on the blueberries, so explain to me why the same diet's not great for everyone.
Again, it's the inflammatory issues and figuring out like how someone's gut is. Like our gut lining is paper thin. And so many things are affecting it, including our lifestyles and stress and antibiotic use. And so it cannot be possible that your body and my body can tolerate the same foods all the time.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You also say in the book that to maintain wellness, we need to redefine the word fat, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
I think fat should be isolated to like the types of fat we eat, which have a lot of vitamins and minerals that do a lot of great things for our body. And we should, like it comes into play when you talk about body positivity. So I do believe in body positivity. We should love our bodies. We should not be talking about anyone else's bodies, and we should be only focused on what's going on in ours. But when you talk about disease and reducing your risk of disease, those are most likely weight related. So you're talking about heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, high cholesterol, high triglycerides. And so you do need to understand that there is dietary fat, which offer tons of vitamins and minerals. And I think that in 2023, people know this at this point.
Yes.
But then we have to understand that our body fat can be adjusted, and we should be leaning towards more lean body mass. But that fat itself is not a bad word.
Got it. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So when we are choosing foods, and I know this isn't all about foods, right? But do you suggest doing the organic opposed to the non-organic? Do you feel like it's worth the money and there's a big difference?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, 100%. So my disclaimer is that you don't have to do it all the time.
Okay.
And so if you're buying strawberries and they're not organic and you want to have strawberries in your house, having the vitamin C and the strawberries are better than not having the strawberries. But if you have an option of buying organic, then the fields are cleaner. And what that means is that they're going to be less disruptive in your body hormonally and digestively. And so if we can have a cleaner system, we're going to feel better long-term and short-term.
Do you especially feel that way about milk as well? Because milk's a big one, right? Do we buy organic or regular? But definitely it's a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, yes, organic. I would say organic milk, organic meats, organic fruits and vegetables, unless you just can't. So if you're in a restaurant, you're not going to ask them, is that organic or not?
Right.
Everything in moderation. But if you have the option, it's just better for your body. Yes.
Okay, so I also have a friend that's a vegan, right? So she can't have butter. So when we wake up in the morning, we vacation together, she can't have butter. And so she's like, well, I can't believe it's not butter, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was trained my whole life that that's everything it's fake. It's shit.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. And I'm thinking to myself, so who's healthier, me or the vegan? Because what are you eating if you're not having butter? Or it's like Coke and Diet Coke. Well, like who's getting the healthier situation? Right?
Yeah, that is a very interesting question. And I think only like a blood test would actually be able to determine that. Right.
Wow.
So
okay.
I think a lot of vegan products are made with a lot of chemicals. And so those chemicals could be hormone disruptors, which will affect you long-term and again, short-term. And then you're talking about a diet high in possibly soy.
Exactly. Yes.
And
a lot of beans. There's a lot of beans going on.
Yeah.
We eat some burger that's not a burger, but I'm like, so what am I eating exactly? Right. It's like, I wonder who's more healthy sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it just like, sometimes is it better to eat the organic meat than have the Impossible Burger? That's what I wonder.
It's a very good question. And I would lean towards the regular burger. I'm not somebody who wants to have the beef burger or the Impossible Burger. Okay. I'm happy to have a turkey burger, but I would also be happy to find a different type of option. So I think, again, anything you want, but the truth is I would lean towards the beef burger.
You would?
If you were asking me. Yeah.
I feel like you would love a wholesome homemade meal, but there's just not enough time. With HelloFresh, you just need 15 minutes and you'll be enjoying a tasty, satisfying meal made in your very own kitchen. When life gets busy, don't call for delivery. Get HelloFresh. It's 25% cheaper than takeout and it's less expensive than grocery shopping too. Just choose your recipes and receive fresh, pre-portioned ingredients so you can get cooking quick. Guys, you know that I'm a foodie and we love to make dinner around here, but I like the convenience of not having to think about what ingredients I need, what goes where, pulling out a recipe. This is done for you. It comes with everything you need right in front of you, tells you how to make it. It's quick, it's easy, and it tastes good. Go to HelloFresh.com/50 on display and use code 50 on display and you'll get 50% off plus free shipping. That's right. Go to HelloFresh.com/50 on display. Make sure you use code 50 on display for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. This episode of On Display is brought to you by Post-it Brand. Post-it Brand helps people get ideas out of their head and out into the world. They believe in the power of writing it down since it's the spark of something bigger. I mean, personally, I have Post-its everywhere, guys. They're all over my desk. They're all over Envy. I don't know what people do without a Post-it. The second I think about it, I write it down and I stick it right on my desk and then things don't get forgotten. Post-it Super Sticky Notes feature 2 times the sticking power to ensure your message stays put. So when you're in a rush, you could just slap it on the board and you don't have to worry that it's going to be gone whenever you get back. 85% of parents believe you're more likely to achieve a goal if you write it down. And that includes me, guys. I tell my kids all the time to write it on a Post-it and you will never forget. You know, even homework. So there are 8 Post-it Super Sticky Note collections so you can match them to your style and any color code if you want. Post-it notes are essential for organizing my life in a bold, colorful way. Find your favorite Post-it products at a local retailer today. Well, you have 6 simple rules in your book, right?
Yes.
And as the title says, this book is such a great guide to become your healthiest self. And one of the things in your book is you break down your 6 simple rules that I want to get into each and every one of these because I think they're really, really awesome. Your first rule is to eat when you're hungry. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you give me a little bit about this? Because you say that it's pretty much the simple answer, right? And it sounds like a simple answer, but it's definitely a little more complicated than we all think, right?
I think as I say simple, it's totally complicated, very heavily layered. Well, okay, let me start by saying, let me ask you a question. What would you do if you had a signal from your body that you had to pee? What would happen?
I would go to the bathroom and pee.
Yeah, but I think you would first think, let me check in my bladder. How bad is it? Can I put it on hold for 5 minutes or can I, finish this conversation and then use the restroom, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Of course.
Totally.
You hold it as long as you can until you feel like getting up.
Yeah. And so what happens with people is that hunger should be just like our bladder. We should be getting cues, right? And we should be able to determine, do I need to take care of this now or can I wait a half hour? And for some reason, people don't talk about hunger. And hunger is really our best friend. It's telling us it's time to refuel. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying like eat when you're hungry. At the second you might feel your stomach growl or feel like you might want to eat something, wait a little bit.
You can.
Don't just run right to the cabinet.
Yeah. Because people don't know what hunger feels like. Hunger is isolated into your stomach. It's not scary and it's not painful. But if you ask everybody, they'll say it's horrible. I hate being hungry. Some people might say they like it, but most people say it's painful when in reality it's not. And the thing about hunger is it gets worse. It doesn't go away if you don't eat. And it's because your mind is like your body and mind are in sync, like saying, hello, you need to hear me. I'm telling you, we need fuel. And so we should practice always allowing ourselves to eat when we're hungry. And again, if we ignore it, then we're going to overeat.
When I ignore it, that's when I get hangry. Sometimes I get to the point of like, I get moody. Do you find that? Like, is that a true thing? When people wait too long, it affects your mood and you turn, like, I know my husband gets like that.
Who doesn't?
Right? Like he gets in a bad mood when he's hungry and the food's not there. And he gets like, he's in a bad mood.
You're actually talking about a lean person. You're talking about somebody who has muscle and eats regularly. So our bodies are running on gasoline that is called blood sugar. And we have a teaspoon of blood sugar in our bloodstream at all times, 24 hours a day, and it's constantly being put into the cells that require it. Our liver has a system called a glucostat that is kind of determining how much blood sugar we need. If you go longer than 3 hours without eating, it slows down your entire metabolism. If you overeat, this is also a problem. So everything is blood sugar control. Everything.
Right.
Everything. And so hunger is your body now saying, my stomach is a little empty. That's a hormone ghrelin saying like it's time to feed me, right? And so once we eat, and that's why I always say start when you're hungry, take your normal portion and wait 15 minutes, because then you'll get the message from your stomach that you've had enough food from that hormone ghrelin. It takes 15 minutes for that message to come. And so many of us can overeat or eat so fast in 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we're too full.
Right.
Then we won't be hungry in 3 hours. So the cycle is broken. We want to be hungry in 3 hours. And people forget that they've eaten like 21 meals last week.
Right.
They're only like paying attention to this moment.
So I feel like that's generally the way that I eat. So I tend to eat every couple hours, smaller portions.
Perfect.
And I get a lot of people ask me, and even like some of the housewives, like especially Dolores, we always giggle about this. We go away on the cash trips. I am looking for food every 2 to 3 hours, literally. And they all look at me like, look at this little whatever over here. And she's eating. She's the one that wants to eat. And I'm like, but pay attention to what I eat. I'm not eating a massive meal every 2 to 3 hours, but I need a snack. I need some food. I need a little bit of a carb. Give me a piece of bread, like every 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. That's how I eat. And people confuse that. I even had Jackie Goldschneider on my podcast last week, and she's like, it was 9 a.m. and you stressed me out because you were ordering chicken wings. And I was like, I probably ate 2 or 3 of the tiny little chicken wings at 9 a.m. And then she's like, yeah. And then you were busting out a salad 3 hours later. Yeah. But that's how I eat. And I feel like it works for me because my body's on this system.
To eat like that. That's how we maintain our blood sugars and our weight.
Wow. Okay, good. So I'm doing it right.
Yeah. If you're not hungry in 3 hours, that's not okay.
Wow. Okay. Well, I am. I am always hungry in 3 hours because I don't eat enough to be full for that long. And you know, when my stomach does bother me, when I do overeat and I'm not hungry in 3 hours, I sit there and hold my stomach and I'm like, why? Why did I do that? Why did I eat that? Why do I feel like this? I'm tired and I have no energy either. My energy goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all blood sugar. It's really important. And like people forget that they're going to eat again. I mean, that's like, it's like waking up this morning and saying, okay, I'm going to have to pee 6 times today. I'm going to need to know where all those toilets are. No, we just totally trust that we're going to find a toilet when we need it. And we have to get back to like trusting that we're going to be able to have food every couple hours. Like,
we eat like we're going to the electric chair and think we're never going to see food for the rest of the day.
Yeah. I remember like people going to kids' birthday parties and saying, what am I going to do? And I'm like, you mean for like a 2-hour little pizza party? Your 2-hour pizza party. You're worried about what you're going to do. You can either eat before or after or have the pizza. Right. But like it's 2 hours.
Right. So like it's in your head. A lot of this is in our heads.
So much fear that we're not going to have food again. And you know, we do every 3 hours.
Right.
Historically. Yeah.
Well, your rule number 2 is eat what you love. And as a foodie, which I truly am a foodie, I really, truly appreciate great food. So I need you to tell me all about this. I mean, how does eat what you love relate to health and wellness?
Yeah. So it is eat what you love, make sure the food loves you back, right? So the way it relates is the fact that it's only when you're hungry and you're only starting with half. And so when somebody thinks something is good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, or they should or they shouldn't, there is a sense of restriction and they will overeat it. So I can't tell you how many times somebody really wants a milkshake, but ends up having, you know, the chicken first and then the milkshake. And so they're double eating. If they started with the milkshake and they didn't label it as anything other than food, and then they got sick from it, they wouldn't have the milkshake again. Wow. So it's eat what you love and make sure it loves you back. If it doesn't love you back, don't stay in a toxic relationship.
Exactly. Because it is a toxic relationship, right? That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Are there any foods that even though we love them, we should avoid them at all costs? Like, do you have anything on your list that you're like, do not touch this?
Mm. I mean, for many years it was soy. For many years, just because
Really?
yeah, it's in everything. And, it's very controversial how it can act like estrogen in our bodies. And so
Wow.
that would be like a hormone disruptor. Um, Now I still would feel soy would be like the only thing I would be very wary of. And, occasionally it's okay. But if you're having a lot of things with soy, that's the one I would watch out for.
Right. So if they say, hey, do you want the almond milk or the soy milk? Go for the almond milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any issues with almond milk or no?
It depends. I mean, some of the oils,
Okay.
I would say everything in moderation is totally okay.
Okay.
Yeah, unless something's making you sick.
Right. Exactly. Because you really do have to pay attention to what you feel good. Like, what about gluten? Do you have any rules with gluten? Does it really affect everyone? Or is that,
Yeah.
I feel like that turned into like a thing also. Everyone's like, it's gluten, it's the gluten, it's the gluten. And then it was like gluten free this and gluten free that. Is that another fad that kind of went on?
It's kind of like anxiety, where I think food sensitivities really became a thing. And so a lot of people don't feel good. And they're, trying to figure it out. And gluten took the brunt of that. But it could have been lemon. It could have been pepper. It could be egg whites. There's so many different foods it could be. And to really know, you should do a food sensitivity test to see how something is affecting you. I don't think everybody's walking around with a gluten sensitivity at all.
Okay, guys, I have to tell you about Angie. It's your home for everything home, and they've made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done right. Like redoing something in your front yard because your husband doesn't want to do it for the fifth time. Joe. Guys, I have been waiting for an app like this my whole life. You literally can find everything on there. Anyone who can fix anything from paint to electricians to landscaping, you name it, and you'll find someone to do it on this app. I think it's genius. If you own a home, you know how much work it can take, whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality. It can just be so hard to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish. Or they can help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect you instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. Joe, I'm putting you on Angie. Okay, well, your rule number 3.
Yes.
Eat without distractions. And you talk about avoiding distracted eating. And I think we all sometimes do this, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I personally do this when I'm in an intense conversation on the phone. So this is what I've learned. I'm not hungry. I already ate, or I tell myself I'm not going to eat the cookies or the crackers or whatever it is. The second my phone rings and I'm gossiping away on the phone with a housewife or whoever at this point, I just walk over to the cabinet without even paying attention, and I just start eating it because it feels like it doesn't count because I'm busy while I'm doing it. And then I literally hang up the phone and I'm like, I just ate 4 cookies. Like I just went and did it, but I wasn't even paying attention because I was on the phone and it felt like it didn't count to me or something. Is that a thing?
That's a thing. And so our rational mind knows food is fuel, and our irrational mind thinks food is fun. It's also comfort. It's also entertainment. And so we kind of need to know where our mind is at all times. And so in order to find our mind, we have to say to ourselves, where's my body? It's right here on the phone. And then where's my mind? It's somewhere else in la la land. And then you have to get really good at bringing your mind back, right? Without any judgment, and knowing that your mind is in your body. So you can say, oh, I'm actually not hungry. But since you're moving so fast through the whole thing, it's better if you just create a new habit, which is put a pitcher of water with a really pretty glass on your counter. And every time you walk into the kitchen, the first thing you do is pour yourself a really nice glass of water and drink that instead. Because you just need to put a little space between the thought to eat and the action because you're not paying attention.
Agreed. I do that at night a lot. I am known to put seltzer in a beautiful wine glass with a beautiful lemon. I cut my lemon up nicey nice and I hold that wine glass while I'm like watching the shows at night. And I'm like, something about this makes me feel like I'm doing something special and good. And instead of pouring a glass of wine every night, I have the wine glass and something satisfies me having a little bit of lemon in it. It really does.
I wish everybody did that. And I think that maybe is something you should do earlier, like when, you're on the phone.
Right. Exactly. I need to stop doing that. Okay. Rule number 4, take 10,000 steps a day. Obviously, most of us are running around all day, right? And I think it's sometimes we don't realize that this is actually pretty easy to put into our routine. Would you want to explain that a little bit?
Easy or I don't know how. Let's see. I mean, I think it's easy, and I actually think it becomes everyone's favorite part of their day because it's the day they can unwind. It's the time that they can really take care of themselves first. So the 10,000 steps is really what we need to maintain our weight loss and to maintain our weight. So exercise does not ever help anybody lose weight, but it does so many things, like it helps with your sleep, it helps with your digestion, it helps with your hormone balance, and it helps with your weight maintenance. So we need those steps for long term. So you just have to get in the practice of doing it because it's forever.
And that's pretty much why you think this is so important. And I will vouch to say that when I have a week that I don't work out, right? If there's a week I don't work out, my stomach bothers me that week way more than it would bother me on a week that I don't know if it's the movement. I don't know if it's psychological, if it's in my head. I feel like everything flows better when I'm also active. I
think you're right about all of it. So I forgot to mention that it improves your mood as well. But your stomach and your mind are so connected through one nerve, and you're getting basically 80% of your information from your mind to your stomach, and your stomach gives your mind about 25%. So actually I said that the wrong way. Your stomach gives your mind 80%. So it's really important for mood. But when you're moving your body, it creates this motion, this peristalsis. And so if you are having like a fungal overgrowth, let's say, this is already slower. And so by moving, it increases it, and it causes like a quicker transit time, which is how long it takes for you to go to the bathroom.
Oh, see, so you should exercise just for your mind and for everything.
For everything.
What are some opportunities? I know you mentioned some in your book, but there's definitely some opportunities people like miss out on, right? When they're wanting to take these 10,000 steps a day. And some of the examples that you do bring up are, just cleaning your own house, right?
Yeah,
cleaning, opposed to having the cleaning lady come through.
Yeah.
Take your walk during your lunch break. Like, so if you're on the phone or you're making your phone calls, just walk during that time.
Yep.
You also mentioned parking further away. Like if you park at the mall, if you park at the parking lot, wherever you are, when we all just like go, I'm always looking for the closest spot, right?
Yeah.
But maybe actually go a little further away and take the walk up to the building, which I thought was interesting.
10 minutes away even.
Right.
Park 10 minutes away, park down the street. I'm also a really big fan of stairs.
Okay.
Use the stairs whenever you can use them, and find a bathroom on a different floor. Just go up and down,
Right. I just told my daughter that at college. I think she's on the second floor or something in the elevator. We just moved her in, was taking a long time, right, to come up and down. And you know what they say, like that college 15, the eating's different, the whole thing. Well. So I said to her when we were pressing the elevator and it was I was like, listen, I feel that these stairs, it's not that many flights, like every day in and out, you should be taking the stairs. I told her that. So I don't know if she's listening to me, but that was my advice to her a couple of days ago when I dropped her off. I was take the stairs. You don't have to wait. You're getting a little exercise. It's good for your butt. Take the stairs. That's what I told her.
And then even go up a couple more floors and then come back down. Like just use the stairs. Yes.
You
Such
know what?
good advice.
Explore this building, child. That's what I was telling her.
Yeah, that's smart. Really smart.
Also, you mentioned another thing that I thought was really great. You mentioned putting the laundry away, like one piece at a time. So you're not just like walking over, like go back and forth and back and forth. I mean, if you want to get your steps in, these little things will help you get them in if you're looking for ways, right?
Yeah. Like I can't believe like during the pandemic when I really didn't have any help at all, I would put on an audiobook and clean my house or do laundry. And that's really like, it was crazy how many more steps I was getting just by doing like one shirt at a time. But I was doing it purposefully to be more active and also to make my book last a little longer.
Right. I love it. You want us to do all the things that we would think we don't want to do, which is find the spot that's far away, put the clothing away one at a time instead of like throwing them all in one drawer to make it end. Like exert yourself, right? A little bit more, but you'll get the steps, you'll get the movement without even realizing it, which I love.
Put the remote somewhere else, get up and change the channel.
There you go. Rule number 5, I love too, which is drink 8 cups of water a day. I know this one's so important. And I feel like, we might all say we've heard this before, but they've been saying this for so many years. It's so important, but how important? What is like one benefit we're going to immediately notice if we start to drink at least 8 cups of water a day?
Well, it's the way that we naturally cleanse or detox. So if our bodies are 60 to 80% water and we have trillions of cells and our cells are 48% water, right? We need to replace the water every single day. And it's how we detox. And we're losing water, in our bowel movements and our urine and our saliva and our spit just by talking, just by eating. And if we don't drink enough water, our body is so efficient that our liver kind of kicks in and starts helping our kidneys. And our liver's job is to metabolize fat and balance blood sugars. And so if our liver is doing the kidney's job, then no one's doing the liver's job. And we end up like gaining fat, body fat, cholesterol, triglycerides.
Wow.
So it's the secret sauce.
Yeah, I'm like that alone would make a lot of people pick up, some water, extra water today. Do you like the trackable water bottles that say like them. They have like the markers for each hour.
Yeah, like keep going, you're doing great. Like whatever we need to do it. There's an app I love called Water Minder. It sends little reminders and you get to it's on your Apple Watch and it shows you like how much water. You can just tap it and it fills it up on its own. There is like a tipping point when it becomes too much. So really everybody needs 8 cups. We don't need more unless we're living in like a desert or something very, very hot, or if we're outside playing sports for longer than 2 hours. Too much water is not good.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, rule number 6, your last rule is all about getting 7 hours of sleep, all about healthy sleeping. But I really, truly want everyone to go out and buy your book if they want to hear the rule number 7, because I think that I really loved that rule. And I think it makes so much sense. And you do give great tips for, sleeping well, staying asleep. If you can't sleep all night, if you don't fall asleep on time, or it takes you a long time to fall asleep. So, you guys really need to pick this book up. Honestly, Kim, this has been awesome. You are like so informative. I know that there's so many other things that you do too, but this has been so educational for us. And I'm happy we got the chance to chat a little bit today. I'm for sure going to put a lot of these steps. I'm going to Amazon, the exact thing you told me. What was the name of it again? Can you tell me again?
The one I like for you is Burby Val.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send it to you.
Please do, because I definitely need to do that. And all my listeners, make sure to grab a copy of Kim's new book. This is what you're really hungry for. The 6 simple rules to transform your relationship with food to become your healthiest self. It's out now, actually, everywhere. I have it here at the house and I'm loving it. Kim, you do like coaching and webinars and all this other thing. Can you tell everybody where we can get all your expertise from?
Yes, you can find me on my website or Instagram or TikTok, all at Kim Shapira Method. And I have a webinar that if you wanted to just do it on your own, you can do the webinar. If you need some extra support, I have group therapy sessions once a week and I have private sessions.
Wow. Yeah. I might need a private session. like here and there, because I love this. This is like right up my alley, because I really feel like we don't know these basic things, and it's so basic, but so important.
So basic.
I know. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Loved having you on. You definitely have to come back again sometime, but make sure everybody grabs her book, and hopefully we will talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
She talks about etiquette.
Get your fingers out of your mouth.
She talks about where to find a deal.
You know, if you sell me something on Instagram, I buy it. Whoever markets to me does a fabulous job.
She talks about the economy.
We used to joke that'll be the thing to send them to therapy. Okay, we're creating jobs. Can we look at it that way?
She talks about parenting.
These kids want to come home. They don't want to leave. They don't want to drive. They want to stay in the womb.
Let's Talk with Heather Dubrow every Thursday on PodcastOne or wherever you get your podcasts.